Hi everyone, it's Marie here from Skeins, and it is a wonderful, gorgeous day here in Hawke's Bay, and I'm excited, I'm happy. Kids went back to school today, and all of the parents out there who've been like me, I have to admit I don't mind school holidays because I'm not having to get up quite so early to get the kids up, ready, organised and out the door. But I have to say there is something quite lovely about knowing that they have returned back to school and I'm not having to panic about keeping them entertained across the holiday weeks all days. So yes, certainly a really nice feeling to have them back to school for term 3. And what it has meant is that I've been able to head back and get into some really new stuff here at Skeins. And someone up on the speakeasy popped a wee note saying to me, "You've been talking about these new yarns, where are they? Where are they?" Now, just in case you wonder, yes, there are new yarns come through, but I don't like launching them out or putting them all out there until everything has arrived through, because it seems silly to do things in dribs and drabs. But what I'm really, really excited about is that we have got some new limited edition colours in Orb DK. Now, Orb DK, if you've not tried it, is our twist on twist cylindrical machine washable DK. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a real firm favourite of ours here, and it is certainly one that features a lot on the speakeasy pages and also in project pages alike. Because of its lovely cylindrical construction, it means that you get really good pop with stitch definition, great for lace work, and of course it's lovely and smooth, creates a wonderful fabric and wears incredibly well. It's just a one of those really good all-purpose yarns which are fantastic. And up until now, the colours that we've had in Orb DK have been predominantly softer, subtle neutrals with a few pops of dual colours and a couple of really lovely little tonal, monotonal shades in there as well to add a bit of interest. So, but what we have gone and done is we've been playing around, been doing some shade development in the dye house. And sometimes in order to do this, we need to create quite a large number of shades to just get a good idea of where we're at. So a lot of the shades that we've developed are quite similar to shades that we've already got. And part of the reason for that is that we're just testing out to see whether or not the shade that we already have in a range needs to be tweaked a little bit. And a great example of this is shades that are really, really popular. So when I first started, red, we couldn't get enough of reds. And red is a really polarizing color. You often love it or hate it. And if you're a red lover, you tend to be either a blue-based red lover or a yellow-based red lover. So, you know, what is the right shade of red? So there are some repetition shades in here, but they are just the same but different, if that makes sense. So what I've gone and done is I've actually brought up, I've got these new shades, and all the new shades in Orb DK have all been given names, like Christian names. So we've got things like Morgan and Fleur and Blake and Dusty. So they sort of kind of hark to the shade that they are, but it also makes it a little bit easier for you to track them down on the page. And also when you jump to the product page, I've made sure I put them all at the top so they're nice and easy to find. So, and one of the ones I mentioned was Morgan. So we've got some neutrals. Don't panic, there are neutrals in there. Now this is Morgan here, which is this beautiful truffly brown, and we've done that shade because it actually ties in with the existing stone and sand shades. So the existing stone and sand are at the bottom and Morgan is on the top. So you've gone and created a tonal story there, which looks really fantastic. But we've also added, there's a lot of lots and lots of neutral colour palettes and neutral stories out there at the moment. So lots of very soft shades, and people are really loving the soft shades, but wanting something a little bit interest with a bit more diversity and difference than just say cream or white. One of our all popular ones always in Orb is sand. It's always been a nice popular one, which is that one there. This is its new little friend called Dusty. And I don't know whether you can, actually you can see that quite well. One is a cool, so the sand is definitely the golden sand colour, whereas that Dusty is just a really lovely, almost light sable, biscuity sort of lighter brown, which is just absolutely beautiful. what else? And oh, look at this here too. This is Morgan and Dusty together. Don't they look fantastic? They're really good together. Also in that little grouping as well is one of the #1 selling, actually I think it's #1 or #2 selling orb shade is Mist. Everybody adores it. It's a beautiful light silver grey. So that's our Mist there in the Orb Fine. Well, this is Luna. And this we have, whilst this Mist is very much a silver grey, Luna has just got a little bit more depth in it, and it's a slightly sort of more pewterish shade to it, because you know Mist is great, it will go warm and cool, but this one here has just got a little bit more grunt to it, so as you can see it's quite different. So that is the Luna. We also have with the Shell. Now, Shell is hugely popular, which is that beautiful off-tone soft pink. But loads of people are also wanting a purer shade of pink. And we have created Fleur. And this one here has ballet cardigans, little girls. It is that beautiful, clean, crisp baby pink. And this one I've got a funny feeling will possibly end up in core range. We've had loads of people after it. It's a little bit more delicate than our pale pink that we've had in Perendale, and that will be coming back into Urban, but it is a really smart little colour, and that one is called Fleur, and I think this one will really rock it out. And on all of these limited edition colours, we've only got a limited amount of stock on each, but if a shade really takes off, we've gone and set them up in such a way that we should be able to repeat them. So if everybody is like, oh my, I just love it, I love it, we want it, we will keep going, and it may be added to the range or replaced out. So fear not. The last comparison one I wanted to show you, and I think this one's going to fall into this category again as well, is along with Mist, one of the other best-selling greys we've got is our Shale, which is that's our Shale there. This is the new Grayson, which, as you can see, is just a very deep blue. It's a very deep grey, but on the blue side of grey. And this is gorgeous. So it's not quite well, it's close to a charcoal, but it's a really rich, good saturated dark grey. And this grey has wonderful friends with its new blue, which is called Blake. So that's it there. So this is Blake at the bottom, Grayson at the top. And what Blake is a really lovely, rich, deep cadet blue. And these blues, as you know, we did a lot of these blues and greens and pearl, and these blues are fantastic. So this is sort of like a cadet, deep, rich cadet blue, sort of, but it's got a little bit of an indigo hint there towards a denim, and you know, like that, along with the Fleur. So if you're wanting to do colourways, more traditional colourways, these are really fantastic. And that one is called Blake. Grayson is the grey. And then we've got our 3 traditional jewel tones, bright tones. And these 3 themselves, I mean, look at those. I mean, look, this is a very classic colour combination. The first one here is Maisie. And what we've gone and done, because let's face it, mustard golds, yellows are just so now. Everybody just absolutely loves them. There's our gold, and this is Maisie. So Maisie is just a brighter, more buttercup version of the Orb Gold. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm really, really quite in love with this Orb Maisie. If you really fell in love with I think it was the Goldenrod in Albertine, you'll love this. It's in the similar vein to that colour. It's that really beautiful clear gold. And I mean, see, look at that with Blake. Very happy friends. So that is Maisie. And then of the other 2, we've got this, I mean, purple. A few years ago, honestly, we could not keep up with purple, and then purple fell out of favour, but we are starting to see some more purple creep creep back in. And this is a great purple. This is a really rich, a very deep, rich grapey shade. It's lovely. It's not too wishy-washy. It's purple. And this one's called Louis. And I have to say, in all of these yarns, my absolute favourite is this last one called Ruby. And I love this because it's a tomato red. And we haven't had, I can't tell you how long it's been since we've had a good tomato red. We've had loads of blue-based reds or loads of very soft, dusty reds, almost starting to head into the pink territory or berry territory. This is a good classic tomato red, and it is absolutely delicious. And this in colour work would just sing. But even on its own, you know, if you're wanting a pop of colour in your wardrobe, whether it be hats or scarves or anything, this red, it would be wonderful. And this is called Ruby. So all of those are loaded and up on the website right now. So just go to the product page for Orb DK and you'll see all of those loaded there. Now, as I mentioned, they are all limited editions. They range anywhere from about, I think, 70 balls through to about 150 balls. So there's not a huge amount of them. But as I said, if something just absolutely romps out the door and is gone in 30 seconds flat, well, we can definitely, we've done the recipes, we've put all the coding together, so we can actually repeat them in the future. So I have to say I'm really rather excited. So I'm going to put all of these together just one last time. Pick them all up. That one's the old one. There we go. So look at those. Absolutely lovely. That is the new Orb DK. Still coming is a new super chunky called Cape. And if you've got the home pattern leaflet, which we gave out a while ago, good patterns by Brenda Green, beautiful cable throws and other large scale blankets, a couple of cushions. This yarn will substitute into that, absolutely no problem whatsoever. It's almost exactly the same, similar thickness to the home, just a different construction, and it's actually got a nice, it's not as firmly twisted as the home, so it's just got a really lovely bounce coming. I'm just waiting for 2 more colours to come through on that. So hopefully, with fingers crossed, I might be able to bring those to you on Thursday if they come through in time. And on the topic of back in stocks, there has been, if you've been looking out for a certain colourway, I know Albertine is on its way, but certainly in the core ranges there's been something that's out. Do go back and check them. I know that there was a pile of paperwork that was receipted in towards the end of next week just for standard colours, and there's been a whole heap that's come in. And also things like water lilies. I know I saw Monet actually down at Caking this morning when I walked in, which is the lovely one with the pink and the turquoise stripe, the spot in it. So that one is definitely coming back, and I think Degar's on its way back as well. So both of those are not going to be too far away. And other thing that arrived back in today are pom-poms. These, honestly, these sold out in about, I think, a week. So I have more than tripled the order that I got in. So these pom-poms are back in stock too, so you can get yourself some pom-poms and onto your hats or tassels at the bottom of scarves and bits and bobs. Yeah, so excited. So Holey Moley. I wanted to catch up with Holey Moley, and I think I showed you last week the packs. These beautiful Gauze Shawl packs with heritage Polworth that we've done up. And I have 3 winners for those, who are Heather Childerhouse, Laura Kelly and Natasha Marshall. Congratulations, you have won those simply just for posting your Holey Moley project over on the Skein Speakeasy. So well done, can keep those definitely posted up. And what are we now, the 23rd? I'll see if I can string together maybe 1 or 2 more giveaways before the end of the month. As for my Holey Moley project, I have not brought Lizzie in today to show you, and that is because since I've spoken to you last, I have done absolutely that much on Lizzie, Zippo, which is not to say that I've fallen out of love with Lizzie, I haven't, but I've had a few other things that I've had to finish in the ways of sampling and stuff here. And it's actually going to bring on to the hot topic. One of the things I thought about, I've noticed a few posts, a few people popping up, not quite so much in the speakeasy, but a couple of other groups just talking about losing this knitting or stitching mojo. You know, you get to a point where you've been tracking along really well, and then all of a sudden you just get the wow ass. You know, you just can't be asked, and you've got projects sitting there, and you've just finished something, and you've got about what to cast on next. And I have to say, I think we all get it. I know I do. And I think part of that for me is due to so much of what I knit. It's not selfish knitting like it is knitting for professional, from a professional standpoint. So it's knitting with either a deadline or a very specific purpose in mind. And so then that sort of applies all sorts of pressure. So, and I don't know about others, and I've spoken to some of the other designers out there, and they definitely feel this. You sort of get to a point, and I'm working on a design at the moment for Albertine, which I had to put the brakes on because we went out of stock of so many colours, and this project takes about 4 or 5 different colours. And I'm 2/3 of the way through it, and I seriously have not touched it for months. It's sitting there waiting for me to finish off. And you just I get to a point where I just think, oh no, I can't look at you. And for me with Lizzie had, to be fair, I've actually really enjoyed doing Lizzie, but I just got to a point where I needed, just after being sick, I was sick last week, had a bit of a cold, and I just got to the point where I'd finished some work knitting, I had Lizzie there, and I just was like, well, where to from here? You know, I don't feel like doing, Lizzie, what do I feel like doing? So quite often when my mojo gets a bit flat, for me, that's when I will jump the fence. So I'm predominantly a knitter. So if I find that I'm like, I will jump the fence into something else. And so for me, that would either be spinning. I'll dust the wheel off, get the wheel out, pull out some fibre, and then just go through that beautiful, lovely, repetitious motion of popping out a bobbin of some singles, or even doing enough over an afternoon or a day or what have you, of doing a hank of something, just for the sake of doing it. And I often find that lovely, gentle, repetitious mindlessness almost, or mindfulness, I guess you could say, of spinning is really, really good for me to clear my head. So that's one option. Or if I don't feel like of pulling the wheel out and doing all of that, I always have down by my chair where I do my crafting a scraps blanket. And I don't know how many of you do these, but many of you will do squares or strips or stuff for charity, or fish and chip jumpers or something small, and that's pick up, put down, memorise, you don't have to think about it type project. For me, I do these giant granny square blankets, and they're using scrappy bits of yarn. There'll be leftovers from swatching and other bits from work. And I literally, the one I've been working on at the moment, I've probably been working on for the best part of 6 months, if not longer. And I literally pick that sucker up, put it down, pick it up, put it down. And it's just classic treble crochet wedges in a giant granny square. And at the moment, it's probably approaching double bed size. But I don't care. It's that one thing, that's what I actually have been working on. It's the one thing that I can just pick up and again, just not look at what I'm doing, not think about anything, but still keep going, and it just helps almost clear my head. So, you know, tell me how you guys get on with that. I know someone else, when she falls into a bit of a funk, what she'll do, she'll rustle through her stash and find something really, really amazing and cast on a new project, and she'll force herself to actually do something really special and amazing. It'll be like, no, I'm not going to hold off anymore. I'm going to do this. And that's a great way to get things kick-started. I've heard of other people that will actually do it the other way. They'll look for, they've got projects that are so what they do is they love to knit while they're watching their favourite show or TV. So they'll either wait for a series that they've been following, like Game of Thrones or or something like that. Or they'll hunt out, they'll hunt out something quirky and new that they may not have tried before on Netflix or Lightbox or Neon or whatever your YouTube or whatever your television viewing is, or a new podcast even, and get started with that and have a bit of a binge and start working along with that. So tell me what you like to do. I'd love to know what sort of gets you out of your knitting funk, if you've lost your knitting mojo, because it is, you do wax and wane, and it, what makes you sort of think, actually, I need to snap out of it and find something new. And from this, it is actually going to lead a little bit into next month's theme, which I won't tell you about just yet. I'll let you know a wee bit more about that next week. But yeah, tell me about what are the things that you do to keep your knitting fresh and keep you motivated when you're doing your knitting moving forward. I'd love to hear that and love to hear what you're doing. But other than that, life here is pretty good at the mill. As I said, we've still got loads coming through. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, once we've done the new Cape yarn, I've still got possibly 2 more ranges, definitely 1, but possibly 2 more ranges up my sleeve before Knit August Nights this time next month. So it'll be so cool. So definitely hang around for those. But in the meantime, enjoy your knitting this week. I'll hopefully talk to you either later in the week or next week. And I will pop a link up to that Orb DK, those new limited edition colours. Absolutely gorgeous. Definitely have to get one of those in the stash if you haven't already. And we'll talk again soon. Take care.